everybody, it's your boy Jay Handy. Today we're going to be changing the fan. First we're going to start by taking off the lights. Phillips screwdriver. Make sure the power's off. Make sure you have a spotter too, since you're going to be on a step ladder. That's what I'm on, just in case you fall. If anything goes wrong, your spotter can dial 911. Plus the spotter is really good for holding the stuff that you are no longer or cannot hold because you only have two hands. Take the fan blades off. One was broken. It was said that they were changing the sheets and they accidentally hit the fan, but I think it was a dance-off solo competition, and in the middle of one of the moves, maybe kicked the fan blade. I don't know. Now on the side, you normally have two screws. You don't want to take them all the way out. And two that you just loosened, so you could turn and drop the base. I took the wrong one out on this side. Every fan's gonna be a little bit different. See, these newer ones are nice because once you take all the screws out, they'll actually hang from the bracket, so you don't have to worry about it falling. Now I put this fan in originally, so I know I have wire nuts, and I know that these wires are not exposed. So that's why I have full confidence in what I'm doing. Take the wire nuts off, and then we start separating the wires. Again, make sure that there's no power, that you've turned the switch off. Wires are disconnected. The ground is the last wire you want to take off. So we'll get the new brackets and we'll put them up. I need to change to a flathead. So I went and got my tester. If there's any power in these lines, it's going to beep. Nothing, it's off, we're good. So now, just to show you guys what would happen if the power was on, I'm gonna hit the switch. That tells me that that's the hot wire, and that's the neutral there. So always make sure the switch is off. So you want to at least look at the instruction manual one time so you can look at the pictures and try to figure this out. Now if electricity is not your thing, go ahead and call someone who is qualified. Actually, my grandfather showed me about electricity when I was younger. Funny thing about my grandfather though is he never had testers. He would always lick his fingers and touch the wires. And that's how he would tell if the power was on or not. A lot of people he did jobs for would ask him, "Hey, aren't you gonna turn the power off?" And he would say, "No, because if I turn the power off, I won't know if I make a mistake." That's old school right there. We're turning the power off. It's not funny to get zapped on camera or off camera. So what I'm doing now is hanging the main support. It's gonna support everything. But when you're taking the old fan off, if you're taking the old light off, don't lose the original screws. Now before you tighten it, you want to make sure that it's centered in the box. Now this is going to be a quick change, but in the future I have to run a second wire from the box to the switch on the wall so it can control the light and the fan separately. But right now we're going to combine both the motor wire and the light wire together, so it runs one switch, and then you can operate it from the pull chain until I run that third wire from the outlet box back to the switch. This happens to have a nice little feature. You got a little hook. You put the screw hole and it holds it in place. That way you're not trying to hold the lamp and do your connections at the same time. So I have to back out a couple of the screws here that are on the side. So we take our neutral wire, which is in this case, the white wire. I want to make sure we use the appropriate size wire nuts. Every time you put them together, put wire nuts, give it a little tug. Make sure the wire doesn't come out. You don't want a fire in your house. So like I said, we don't have a third wire, so I'm going to have to run that at a later time. So right now I'm hooking up the motor and the light to the hot. So I got my wire nuts. Only thing that's left is the ground. I put the grounds together. Now we're ready to mount and unhook it. Tuck in our wires. Alright. We'll start to tighten down the screws. Let's run a quick test and make sure that so far, our small little glimpse at the instruction manual, we followed things at least as the pictures say. Alright, fan is spinning, light is on. So because we don't have the third wire, we have to run everything off of one switch. So we'll put the extensions on this pull change. That turns off the fan. That turns off the light. This particular model, the fan blades attach to the top of the motor. The motor's above the light. So this is why you got the little ball in here, a little swivel, and tighten the screws. Now this particular model doesn't have screws that hold the bulb in. Hand tighten it, and it's on, you're done. Here's the extensions for the chain. Always remember when selecting a fan, they come in different sizes. So it's not a very big room, you don't want to get too big of a fan. I mean, you could if you want, but aesthetically it might not look good if you have this huge fan in a small room. But if that's the look you're going for, go for it. Okay, so now that the blades are all finger tight, I'm going to take a wrench or any kind of pliers and just apply a little bit of force to tighten, but we don't want to over tighten. Now we're going to test. We have light. And we got the fan blade. Working pretty good. Soft. Light again. Thanks again to all the subscribers. Thanks to everybody who watches the videos. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, leave a thumbs down. I'll figure it out. It's your boy Jay Handy. Thanks for watching.